of where things started for me, and that's identifying what money truly is and sort of who controls it. So this is episode 1, the lie hiding in plain sight. We're going to jump straight in to our first sort of system check, where we sort of ask the big question: so who creates all the money in the economy, and how do they do it? And that is the commercial banks. Here we go. Yeah, our first one: how do banks actually create all our money?
Step 1. Loan issued. The bank records 2 entries at once: assets, a loan to the borrower; liabilities, a deposit in the borrower's account. New money is born. Step 2. Money circulates. The borrower spends the deposit. It flows through the system like any other money.
That little bit that we went through, the liability and the asset, that is the banking equivalent of balance sheet accounting. So we're looking at the commercial banks creating that money out of thin air, and effectively where that trickles down into the society through spending. So every time you go to pay for something from work, or you buy a house, it's a bit more obvious, but you take a mortgage out. But every part of that money supply pretty much just started with digital credit from a commercial bank, sort of created out of thin air. We'll talk a lot more in the system audit around what that means, but really this is the bedrock of all money being debt.
Step 3. Repayment.
Oh, yeah.
When the loan is repaid, the deposit is deleted. Only the interest remains as bank profit. Truth override. Loans create deposits. Deposits don't fund loans.
And that's the statement. Loans create deposits. Deposits don't create loans. So you don't lend out, as a bank, someone else's money like you sort of always think of with a bank. You think they hold their reserves, they lend out that money. That's not the mechanical structure of how commercial banks work, and it really matters a lot to us, because then we can start to break this sort of concept, which has always been in my mind, of how banks operate in reality. The small bit was just passed over because I didn't think it was that important, is that obviously when a loan is paid back, that money is removed from circulation. I know if that's like a gut shot to people who pay back loans, going, well, that money just disappeared. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. But it's about balancing the economy, in terms of how much capital was in the economy. It matters for them to remove it. The interest is what the bank gets as profit for just being the vehicle for credit creation, which is quite mad, but it's something you could debate the pros and cons of. Obviously, with a bank being driven for profit, you could argue some of those profits shouldn't exist when they've been stabilized and bailed out, but story for another day.